Okay, so uh, with we are all seated, I'm sure, but with clapping ovation, I want us to welcome Mr. Francis Kusonyel. I want to believe that I get the name correctly, but I'm sure he'll be telling us in the correct pronunciation himself. But from my own little pronunciation, let us welcome Mr. Francis Kusonye to the floor. Hello, sir. Good evening,
Hello,
sir.
good evening, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, sir.
It's good to be here. It's good to see professionals coming up and having interest in the field of monitoring and evaluation, and it's really a nice field. So, my presentation, it's let me call you colleagues. So, my presentation is just going to be more of an interactive session. So, I will deviate a bit from the initial plan for me to talk just about the opportunities in monitoring and evaluation and how to maximize them. I'm going to, before we get to the opportunities that exist in this field, that will take us a bit. Can I share my screen? If I have a
Uh,
little bit of a talking point I prepared.
you can, sir. You can.
Okay, let me see. Oh, just a minute. Sorry.
No problem.
Yes, yes, no problem. So, how much? You can see now. You know you are going to pay school fees, abi? And then the MESA will give you a book. Where on resumption, when you pay your departmental dues and the rest, they will give
Let
you
me know
one
when
book.
you can see the
Safe.
screen. You
Eh,
can still hear me.
um, yeah, the
Yes, I
screen.
can hear you. We can hear you. Okay, we can see your screen
Yes,
now.
I can see the screen.
Can anyone still hear me?
Yes, yes, you are audible. You are audible.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
We are with you, sir. We can hear you.
Can
Yes,
you
your
still
screen,
hear?
your screen is on. Yes, your screen is on.
Okay, so I will be talking about the opportunities in M&E, but before that, I would like to talk about some basic skills. Can you see the presentation in presentation mode now?
Not,
Is it in the presentation mode?
not yet. Not yet.
Uh-oh. So I'm struggling to get it into a presentation mode, but if it's not possible, I'll not waste our time. I'll just carry on with it like that. It's usually easier to do it in Teams.
But it's cheaper than the one you were out there. Anyway, don't get what you can get. You still get. If you get that one, you can keep it for. Things are expensive.
Let's just go with it.
Ah, ah. What's happening to the lab network?
Ability came in, and then learning came in, because we collect data that has to do with people, and we're supposed to be accountable to them. So, and learning came in as well, so that we can be able to learn from the data we're collecting. So M&E has opportunities in diverse that supports diverse backgrounds. So regardless of whether you're coming from the health sector, whether you're coming from nutrition, whether you're coming from you're an economist, you're coming from an agri background, it's one field that supports anything you can think of, any field you can think of, you're most welcome. So there are a lot of opportunities and areas of specialization that has to do with where you are coming from. So you would find pharmacists as an M&E, you're going to see an accountant as an M&E, you're going to see a computer scientist as an M&E, you're going to see a biologist as an M&E. The niche is you choosing an intervention or an area that resonates with what you've read so far. So if I'm an accountant, or if, for instance, I'm a nurse and I decided to go into M&E, is for you to choose health related, or if you're interested in other fields, you're most welcome. So, but before we go into those critical opportunities that exist in the world of M&E, there are basic skills that you should get before you delve into that. I believe this course is going to give you a lot of those skills, but so I'm just going to give you more of a reminder of some of the skills that you need as you progress in this sector. Majorly is data analysis, and then the management aspect. You need to get your hands strong on data analysis and management of data. So from the analytics skills, the collection, when you're talking about data study, be it quantitative study or a qualitative study or a mixed method. So you have to be grounded with that methodology. From there, you need to move into how do I collect the data. You design the tools, be it Survey, Survey Magic, Kobo Collect, Owner, Device Magic, whatever kind of mobile data collection you're going to use to collect that data. And then it goes back to now your analytical skills to be able to make meaning out of that data you've collected. You also need a very strong communication and reporting skills. You need to be able to present your findings in such a way that a non-technical person can make sense out of it. Why am I saying that? You are going to be discussing a lot. You see, of recent, I banned some reports. For instance, you find a report of an assessment in 58 pages. People don't like to read that. So people want crisp, short, concise findings that speaks to one pager. They are able to make meaning out of your 1-2 weeks work. So you need that report writing skills. You need to be an effective communicator for you to be able to present your findings. And then in communication still, you need a whole lot of stakeholder engagement. You need to understand your audience whenever you're writing any report. You also need to be grounded in project management, and then adaptability. Adaptability, I look at it more of a context thing. If you move to Maiduguri, for instance, you need to adapt. You move to Syria, the context in Syria is not the context in Somalia. What is applicable in Somalia is not what is applicable in Nigeria. So you being able to have this contextual knowledge is key. And then general project management. So I would advise you take things like the DPRO to deepen your understanding of project management. You can't monitor what you don't understand. So if you want to monitor any project, then you should have a very good grasp of project management. Your critical thinking is something that would have to be top notch. When people see things, they are satisfied with it, you're not. You have to go the extra mile to say, no, I'm not good with this. I need more. This can be better. So quality assurance come into your head. And then you're always going to cultivate a critical mindset of questioning assumptions. When people say this, you're always questioning things. And then almost to the last part of it is I've talked about contextual understanding. Here you need to look at knowledge and development context. where most of these male guys, if I say male now, I'm referring to monetary evaluation, accountability, and learning specialists exist. And of course, you have to have a continuous learning ability. As a male person for life, you're going to learn. Now, the next thing before I delve into the opportunities is you need to know your softwares. Any male person that tells you that you would do male without softwares, I think the person is lying to you. Your strength as a male person or as an M&E professional lies in your ability to use softwares. I have listed some based on the order of how I feel you should learn them if you want to take that journey. From the theoretical aspect of M&E, you need to marry it with the practical aspect. Microsoft Excel is the backbone of most of these softwares. They said there's a saying that if you know Excel, you will surely excel. You need a very good knowledge of Microsoft Excel if you want to survive in M&E. There are a lot of softwares that you would find easy to navigate. Things like Stata, SPSS, they are all built, Tableau, they are all built on Excel. So if you come with the knowledge of Excel, it's just going to be more of an easy peasy for you to navigate your way. Now, you have Excel for quantitative analysis. I hope we know the difference so far between quantitative and qualitative. I need an answer. Do we know the difference between quantitative and qualitative data?
Yes.
Please,
Yes, we do.
someone should bail me out. What's the difference between quantitative and qualitative data? Anybody?
Quantitative has to do with numbers, where you're checking the number of this, the number of that, percentage. While qualitative has to do with attitudes, knowledge, where you're checking, and then the people have to, if you're using a questionnaire, they have to respond with either yes or no. You're checking their knowledge, you're checking their attitude. That's basically it.
Thank you very much. Is there another person with a different viewpoint?
Okay, yeah, it's not just a different viewpoint, but just to buttress what she has said. Quantitative data is gathering by measuring and counting. Then that's quantitative. Then qualitative is collecting by interview and observing. Then quantitative data is analyzed using statistics analysis, while qualitative data is analyzed by grouping in terms of meaning, category, and themes. It's just to buttress what she has said. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Like you rightly said, one has to with numbers, is numeric. So numeric is a quantitative and then it consists of numbers. And we go with things like Microsoft Excel to do a quantitative analysis. Power BI is for visualization, where before Excel was mostly what we use for visualization, but now it has moved away from Microsoft Excel to Power BI. So you have the Power Query, you do the manipulations there, and then you produce your report in Power BI. Now, when you move away from quantitative, things like number of people in a class, you go to qualitative. They are non-numeric. They usually consist of qualitative characteristics or attributes of things. It doesn't have any inherent order, and the analysis is usually by team. Here you try to code, and that's where you get things like the Max QDA, the InVivo, the QuickOS. There are a lot of them. One mistake we always make when learning softwares is you start Max QDA with okay, sorry about that. One mistake we always make is we start with MassQDA, we jump, we go to Vivo, we jump. If you start one software from experience, stick to it and master it to a reasonable level before you move to another software. Advances in IT has brought about the era of AI. We can't shy away from it. M&E now is fast tilting and becoming a subset of data science. That's a topic for another day. But as M&E, you are always supposed to continue continuously supposed to continue learning, and Python is something you should pick up. You should also pick up R or SQL. If you're picking Python, please don't pick R. They basically same domain. What you can do in one, you can do in the other. I would recommend Python. You can pick SQL, you can pick on statistical analysis, data and XPSS are becoming a thing of the past, though they are still Tableau has added some features in visualization, so it's still useful up to today. And of course, you need your PowerPoint and your Microsoft Word for you to be able to write report and format it and make presentation. Now, having said all this, if you are able to gather the theoretical aspect of M&E, the statistical use of softwares, now you go, what are the opportunities that exist in this field? As you may know, of course, for every field, the opportunities are just endless. There are a lot of training opportunities, and for you to get access to these trainings, one major thing I would tell you is you need to join different groups, different settings that would be able to you get informed about these trainings. I just give you the core ones. American Evaluation Association, if you're able to join as a member, there are paid membership for most of these, and then there are free membership. At the free memberships, you still see all the opportunities there. And as a member, you get some free online trainings, and you get some paid trainings, you get sponsorship for trainings abroad. It depends on where you are. We have the European Evaluation Society, and then I'm not a member of this. I don't know really much about them, but we have the International Development Evaluation Association. We also have the Nigerian Evaluation Association, where you have evaluators around the country, and then there are a lot of opportunities, mostly trainings, and sometimes you see job opportunities there as well. There are a number of LinkedIn groups you can join where you would also be seeing things like trainings, job opportunities, mentorship opportunities, one-on-one mentorship opportunities, and Better Evaluation should be your number one friend. In Better Evaluation, you're going to have access to a lot of things. Perhaps I will drop the links to Better Evaluation in the chat box. Here you would have tools, you would have sample TORs, you can get sample files for different things you want to create in M&E. Are you working on a log frame? Then Tools for Dev is your best friend. With Tools for Dev, you can see different log frame samples that you can take and adopt, and it's totally free. One thing, 2-3 fingers to type. In evaluation, you need that because speed is something that is very important. So aside this, they give you access to training opportunities as well as different other things. And then we move to jobs. You can get jobs in different settings from international and then local NGOs. There are different national NGOs. Why I'm bringing the local NGOs is mostly this serves as a starter. When you're starting up in this field, you would need access to either internship, paid or unpaid, or you pair up with the local NGOs. It's much easier to enter through this than trying to penetrate the international NGOs. So there are a lot of opportunities in now. It's almost a rule of thumb for every project. We must have at least minimum of 5 to 10% of the total project cost goes to M&E. With this amount, there's always an M&E for every project. So you can start by targeting the local NGOs. It depends on your level of competencies and proficiency. But for you to build that experience that you're going to say, I have 5 years experience in this, I have this year's experience in that, you Can you still hear me? I feel I'm
Yeah,
talking to myself.
we can hear you now. We can hear you now. There was a break,
Okay.
but we can hear you
Yes.
now.
Okay. So starting at a local NGO or targeting something like an assistant position, a volunteer position, it's a good starting point for you to be able to showcase your skills. Before you start that, usually you must have amassed a number of skills that you want to showcase. And once you get the opportunity, you'll be able to sell yourself. And there are a lot of jobs from in the when you move away from the local NGOs, you go to the international NGOs, organizations like CARE, Save the Children, GIZ, ICRC, NRC, and a host of them. You can enter as a national staff, which is usually the entry point, and you can grow from a national staff to an international staff. An international staff is a staff that leaves his country and works abroad. So if I'm working in Kenya, for instance, I am an international staff, and then the benefits are huge. There are a lot of benefits. Some organizations take care of your housing, they take care of your electricity bills. Some gives you a car while you're driving in that country, and it's a very decent job, if you ask me. And then it's very stressful as well. There are a lot of government agencies that you can also get a job with. Of recent, I think the Borno State government came up with monitoring and evaluation unit. So that we have different monitoring and evaluation units in Nigeria within the state government and then the federal government. However, these are really not the most functional of all units. So we have another government agency, the UN government, and here you know the WFP, the WHO, the IOM are now part of the UN agency, and the pay is relatively better in the UN agency compared to most of the international NGOs. And the international NGOs is usually better than the local NGOs. That's how the trend goes. You can also start up your own consultancy firm. You can get job with a consultancy firm as an M&E professional, where you work, you lead on evaluations. Organizations, usually there are evaluations that you have to contract out because of bias. Bias is perhaps I ask us, what do we understand by bias? Let me know I'm not talking to myself. What do we know by, what do you understand by bias?
Sentiment.
Sentiment, one. Another one,
Personal preference.
Compromise.
compromise. I love that word, compromise. Another one,
Personal preferences.
personal preferences. That's awesome. So I take a scenario whereby I like to give this example. Let's say you prepared a pot of soup and then you test it, and most likely you're going to say this soup is nice. So that's how it is an evaluation. When you led the project implementation, there is every likelihood that if you are the one to evaluate, evaluation is judgmental. Or maybe I would ask us that maybe in after this. So you trying to judge the project that has been implemented after 3 years, if you are part of the implementation team, chances are you would say is a very nice project. So consulting it out to an external party, so that reduces the tendencies of bias. So it also has a way of bringing in bias, because consultants would want to say, okay, your project is top notch, so that next time you're hiring consultant, you would think of bringing them on board as well. So that's another aspect of looking at the bias as well. But in general, you can get a job with a consultancy firm, or you can open your own consultancy firm. Having a consultancy firm, you can lead different things. You can organize online trainings, you can organize webinars, you can outsource and collect and execute projects such as baseline, midline, endline, rigorous impact evaluation, whatever kind of assessments and evaluations the organization wants or the project is expected to deliver on. You can do that. Aside that, you can provide training opportunities for organizations. You can also train organizations. There's usually a high your organization or your firm shows that okay, you're able to demonstrate technical competencies in some area, like the use of the softwares I made mention of. Different organizations outsource this. Okay, there was a time I saw the CRS Catholic or Christian Catholic Relief Services. They were advertising for a Power BI professional to design a database for them with a visualization. So such opportunities as an individual, you can bid for it and then you get your cool cash. So you could also go with private sectors. Usually the consulting firm are private sectors, so you can join any of them or open one yourself. There are a lot of educational research institutes that are looking for M&E specialists, basically research tied to executing different level of research for different targeted at answering different research questions. And you can get a job there as a researcher. You could set up your own research institute. They also provide capacity building and training. Sometimes you see IT is in this kind of they provide SciWest internship, paid and unpaid internship for different people from different organizations that wants to come and learn from them. One thing there is you should always actively engage with professionals. You should try as much as possible to network, to expand your opportunities in the field. The core thing is networking. You being able to be aware of what is the current trend in this field and what can you do to make very good use of the opportunity that is available. There are a lot of job platforms on WhatsApp, for instance, that you could see a lot of jobs opportunities opening up, especially within the humanitarian and development sector in Nigeria. If you're here, and if it is abroad, then Relief Web is your best bet. There you could see different kind of opportunities. There are also remote opportunities. Remote roles are roles that one, you get paid in the country's currency, and then you're sitting in your own home office, whatever you create. The major thing is you deliver on such goals. I think I took one remote role sometimes back whereby it's just data analysis. They send the data for you, you analyze it, you send it back to them, you finish your work. They have another work, they pay you, send you data, you analyze, you send back. You could also do freelancing with data analytical skills that you've amassed. You can do a lot of jobs on freelancing. There are a lot of jobs. Analyze the data, write a very small 2-3 page report, and you get your 10 euros, 70 euros, depending on your technical competencies, and you build like a profile there. If it is freelancing, you be like, there are other websites apart from freelancers now that you can do remote jobs with your data analytical skills. And by the way, that's to say the I told us earlier in the beginning of the presentation that data analysis is something that is trying to make MIL, M&E, a subset of it. And if you don't evolve, you would wake up one day, you are there with your M&E, and then people have moved on. So data analysis is currently among the top 5 paid jobs in the world as at last 2023. It's one of the top paid jobs. So it's a good field you're in, and I'll take a pause here and then take questions. I wanted my presentation to end in 30 minutes, and then it's 32 minutes. I'll take questions, and feel free to use a rabbit hole so you can digress and ask me whatever question you have before I take a bow. So I'll take questions from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
sir.
sir. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
If you have any question for Mr. Francis, can you please raise your digital hands? So I'll be calling names. Okay, somebody is raising hand already. That's Yanusa Aliyu. Can you unmute and ask your question, please? Yanasu Aliyu, sorry. Yanasu Aliyu. Please, can you unmute and ask your question? Hello? Okay, anyone else? Please, can you hear me?
I can surely hear you from
We
my
can hear
end.
you. We
Okay,
can hear
please.
you.
Do we have questions for Mr. Francis? Please let us ask now. Yanasu Aliyu. Please, can you put the hand down if you are not asking question? Okay, who is the person again? Okay, Amazing Grace Yala. You have the floor now, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for a wonderful presentation. I was really enlightened knowing more about monitoring and evaluation, even though I've been doing it for a while, but I really didn't have much interest because that's really not my area of concentration. But thank you for enlightening us and causing us to see possibilities in what we have at our fingertips. So thank you, and thank you very much. So my question goes thus. You said you were going to share maybe a link or some links with us where we can get free documents and samples of M&E past data analysis and all that. Not sure if I got that right. So I'm just trying. I'm asking to confirm. Is that what you said? You're going to share the link? You said you're going to share it on the message platform. So I needed to know that. Is that what you said, sir?
Yes, please. I promised to share a link to sites where you could get access to templates.
Yes.
Yeah, I would share that in the chat box. And
all right. So this is just a reminder so you don't forget. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma. Okay, Oyenze Kenneth.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ayodele. Thank you, Mr. Francis, for the wonderful lecture. Please, I want to ask, is there any way you can help with any resources for data analysis training, probably paid or unpaid? I think that might also help as well.
so when you say data analysis training, can you be more elaborate? Like I
Yeah, I
said
think, yeah, I'm
earlier,
listening.
there is quantitative analysis, there is qualitative analysis. Which are
Yeah.
you interested in?
Well, I don't really have a deep knowledge about data analysis generally. But if I can have the resources to go through the details, then that will give me more information on which area interests me more to go into.
So
Because I can't just, I understand your training, but I don't think I have enough information to decide if I should go into qualitative or quantitative.
Then I would strongly recommend you start with Microsoft Excel. I want to assume that anybody that has MS Office, Microsoft Office in your laptop, there is Excel. And Excel is the bedrock for virtually all the softwares you can think of that has to do with analysis. I would say start with Excel. I can drop a link or there are free Udemy courses on Excel that you can take. YouTube is your friend. If you're learning Excel, if you can get an internship, because when you're learning and doing, it sticks better than when you're learning abstract things and you're not seeing the practical application of what you are learning. So if you're going to learn Excel without a project, it might take you 4 or 5 months. But once you have something that you're trying to achieve, then it takes you shorter period for you to learn Excel. A month or two, you're good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. There is no, I think the last answer has also addressed this. Somebody asked that what's the suitable software for M&E officer? I think we can say,
It depends on at which level
okay,
is the person. So here in this class, we have people that are at the beginner level, we have intermediary level, and then we have people that are already, they have seen it all, but they still want to fine tune their skills from what I'm beginning to sense. So what is good for the goose might not be good for the gander in this case. So I would say suitable software for M&E officer is Excel. You can cut me anywhere. From Excel, Excel gives you more grasp and more understanding of quantitative, gives you the ability to play with quantitative data. As you're moving and growing, you need to diversify because you're going to do a mixed method. Sometimes you do a data collection. You ask questions like, what is your most preferred market day? The person says Friday. Then you ask, if Friday, why Friday? Then the person begins to explain. So you've already collected the quantitative. Now you are delving deeper into the qualitative, explaining why the person, the respondent prefers Friday as a market day. Now you need to do a mixed method analysis. Excel will fail you there. You can do it in Excel, but then it's just like using, how will I say, a blunt axe. It's going to take you a long time for you to be able to do the coding, and then doing the teams in Excel takes a longer time. But things like MassQDA, QCOS, in Vivo, they shorten the period for you. Start with Excel. When you grow from Excel, you get to a certain level, you realize that you need to learn another software. Then I would strongly recommend you move to MassQDA. Why? We have in Vivo, but in Vivo does not do quantitative, while MassQDA does quantitative and qualitative in one software. So it's able to use the qualitative to further explain the quantitative when you're writing your report. Maybe when you pick a course on that, you will learn, you would understand better. I still see a hand.
okay.
Sorry, the MassQD you mentioned, is it also on the list when you were on your presentation?
Yes.
The MassQD you mentioned. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Thank you.
Ramat, please, were you trying to ask a question or it has been answered? Okay, somebody is asking another question. Yeah. Okay. It's Mr. Francis that is sending in some messages. Okay.
So I just dropped the list of softwares I mentioned in the presentation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. So, any other question? Okay. Ramat Yakubu, please. You can take your question now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Francis, for the lectures, and thank you, Mr. Ayodele, for everything. My question goes like this. He talked about taking an internship in is it advanced Excel or something, or Excel generally. I want to ask if he can recommend any site that maybe probably will help us in the internship.
So, like I said, the internship, it's a physical thing. It depends on the organization. It depends on also how much of a free time you have. If you are at this beginner level, target the local NGOs. Guys, I know M&E, I know the basic. I can help you out with ABC, and I'm free on Mondays to Wednesdays. So if you are at that level, you can approach any. And from there, the idea is for you to say, I'm an M&E intern when you're applying for your next job at so organization, so that people get to read your resume. You can't say, I have M&E training and I am at home, and people will be interested in your resume.
Okay.
Crafting your resume in order to showcase, please, one mistake most M&E professionals make is you lump a lot of software that you have no idea how they even work on your resume. When you get to interview, I think I've interviewed 1,000 that the 100, sorry, that they have no idea of the softwares on their resume. They just put it and it attracted me. And yes, I called them, they came, and then they couldn't even say anything about it. So put what you have, at least a fair knowledge of, a fair idea as to what the software can do, what it cannot do. Some basic knowledge of the software. You must not know everything. And your CV should not be empty. I'm sure CV is another thing. I dropped in the chat box Disc Udemy. Disc Udemy is a website that scans Udemy virtually on a daily basis. And what it does is, it's an applet, sorry. Applet is software as a service. So it runs, and then whenever they advertise any course, because from time to time, they slash down the cost for some courses to 0 naira and or whatever currency, wherever you are. When they slash it to 0, this Udemy picks it. So when you search for course, for instance, free Excel, you are going to get an Excel that yesterday was 39,000. Today it can be free for 4 hours for you to register. So you can register free, and you're going to get the certificate as a person that paid the 39,000. It's legal. You register, you go there, you search for courses that have coupon, 00 coupon there. You register for those courses, and it helps you to save some money.
Wow. Thank
Okay.
you
Thank you very much.
much, sir. So we're having 15 minutes left. So I think we can still entertain one more question if there is. Is there any other question? Okay. Okay. Are you still raising your hand, or this is okay? Okay.
Please, I'm so sorry, I'm just coming in now. Please, do we
Oh,
have a recorded audio? Have you?
okay. You are going to pay for it. You are recording it, but yeah, you reserve your money.
Please, I will return this. Please, sir.
You pay $100 to get the.
$100. That is how much now?
Only
Wow, that's a
$100
lot of
only.
money.
Yes, only.
Let me send Azza. $10 only.
Don't worry.
That is
I'll be sharing the link to the video after the meeting. So any other question?
thank you, sir.
So can we put our hands together to appreciate Mr. Francis? Let us put our hands together. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you so much, sir.
We really appreciate you for honoring our invitation, and we want to believe that when next we call you, you will be ready to come and enlighten us the more. We really, really appreciate you for taking your time to join us this evening, and we pray that the Almighty will continue to increase you and enlarge your coast and catapult you to greatness. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We really appreciate you, sir. So, as Mr. Francis will be leaving us, we are saying thank you again. Thank you, sir. Any last word for us?
Thank you.
I think the last word I will leave you with is you're in a sector that is in a very high demand, both nationally and internationally. And if only you can learn, and especially, let me be a bit biased, the females amongst us, there's a growing demand for female in the leadership of male generally. And as a rule of thumb, if a female is 20 to 25 marks close to the first person, if it's a candidate, if it's a male, sometimes we make justifications to give the position to a female. So I strongly encourage the female amongst us. I've been hiring for 5 to 6 years now. I've been a hiring manager, so I know the demand for female. We post advert, and during the written test, you find 6 or 7 of the shortlisted. There is not a single female in the test. So I think one key thing, I'm very happy and excited to see there are a lot of females. Guys, don't worry. It's not against you, right? But I'm happy to see that there are a lot of females in this call and make the best use of this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much,
People are
sir.
asking for
Thank you,
your LinkedIn.
Your social media
link.
handle, please.
Thank you.
I believe you can be connected through LinkedIn, sir.
Yes, I am on LinkedIn. I use the same Kusanya Francis on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And on all the other social media, I'm really bad at social media. I banned all those things because I love watching status. When I start, I have to finish the last contact, and it takes 3 hours of my time unproductively. So I kick those things out. Those are things that you would have to kick out if you really want to go far in the learnings of things like softwares, because it's time consuming. But you can, if you want to chat, I think on WhatsApp, yeah, I do respond to chats on WhatsApp, but not so fast like that. But yes, sometimes back I used to organize free software usage trainings, but it has gone a little bit low these days. So if we're organizing one, perhaps I could share a link with Mr. Edele to see if people can join. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
We really appreciate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Coming.
Really insightful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I take a bow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, bye. Have a great week. Thank you so much.
Okay. So let me